Hey you guys, HalfPastThor here. I'm going to record another live game commentary for you. This game I'm playing, finally I managed to get matched with a professional player in SoloQ after all this time. Finally managed to do it, and I landed with Xpeke on my team, of all people, which is fucking awesome. I mean, I've been playing League of Legends for so long that, and watching the LCS for so long that I've been just waiting to get into a game with one of these players and get to the point in SoloQ where I'm getting matched with these players, and this was the first game that I'd actually been matched with somebody I recognised hugely, and it made me quite happy. So yeah, this game, unfortunately, because I got matched with Xpeke, how can this be unfortunate? But in a way it was, because I couldn't get mid lane. I was first pick and he was like, can I go mid? And I was like, fine, I'll let you go mid. And so this video is kind of about role filling as well, before I go too much into the fact that I got matched with a professional player. Role filling in SoloQ. So sometimes you're not going to get the role that you wanted, right? So this game, for example, I let somebody have the role that I wanted because I had belief in them for some reason, I don't know why, that they'd do well in that lane. So because I can also play a lot of my mid lane mages top lane and survive or do well in lane, I decided to rolefill for top lane because we didn't really have a top laner on our team. Our jungler in this game is also on my friends list. I didn't do it with anybody, so we ended up getting like a really nice team this game. Everyone me kind of knowing a lot of people on the team, so it's quite fun. So role filling, so I'm playing Karthus topping this game because a lot of the mages that I play get banned, and one of the most suitable for top lane against Jax is, I'm playing against Jax this game, if I didn't mention, which I probably didn't, is Karthus, because Karthus is a late game scaling mage, like Jax is a late game scaling fighter. In lane, Jax hasn't got enough damage early game to really pressure Karthus too heavily. Once he hits level 6 he can burst a lot of damage off you, but early game you're fine to just farm. And you can actually trade back from him as well in lane, so this lane phase is basically going to be me playing quite defensively, but when I get jumped on by Jax, his cooldowns are gone and he has to start running away as I kite him, so that's a big time for me to get damage back on him. As you can see, he jumped on me, auto-attacked me, I lost about 20% of my health, whereas I damaged him back for about, I'd say 30 to 40% of his health, so I came out really far ahead in that trade. He obviously was underestimating the damage that my lay waste could do at level 1. So every time he goes for a minion, I'm going to Q where he's going to want to CS the minion from. So as he goes up for this minion, I hit him with a Q. Even though he gets the CS, he takes a bit of damage in return. You always want to look to get the CS as a priority. So Elise is trying to gank my lane here, but as a Karthus, early levels, I'm not going to be able to do much. But he comes out to just pressure the Jax with some damage. Gets a bit of damage on him, which is nice. Obviously the lane's also pushing in my favour. Even though I'm playing Karthus, and my Q passively shoves the wave, for some reason Jax managed to push the wave more heavily. Probably when he jumped on me and aggroed my minions, so my minions stopped hitting his and pushed away from me. So this actually makes it really good for me that I can just not even have the pressure of the jungler on me in the early levels of this game, because this is where Karthus is the most vulnerable and it's the pure early game. So right now I'm going to try and freeze some minions just outside my tower range so they don't die to the tower. Unfortunately they get into range, but it doesn't matter too much because the point of that is just to freeze it near my tower so that jungler can't gank me very easily for as long as possible. I mean, it's inevitable that the wave's going to get pushed back because I'm a Karthus, but right now I might as well keep myself as safe as possible. As Karthus, your Defile, your E, gives you mana back every time you CS a minion. So instead of just queuing every minion, when you're going for trades like this you lose a lot of mana. Your E usually gives enough mana back if you just queue farm minions, but what you want to try to do is weave in auto attacks on minions like that, so you get mana back for free rather than using mana to get mana back. So you can make trades in lane with your Q rather than just CSing with it. So as you can see, Jax jumps on me again. Here I auto attack him to make him move around in the lane. If I'd have hit my wall here, I probably would have killed him. But yeah, unfortunately he's too fast. I can't catch him and run out of mana. But I've got massive pressure in this lane right now. and I can see Jarvan through that ward. Unfortunately in the game I didn't see Jarvan coming towards his wolves, otherwise I would have quickly pushed this lane out and based, but because I have lane control here and didn't really, it's kind of my fault for not realising, but I'm pushing the lane up now and the jungle is completely missing in my side of the map. So you can probably expect that I'm going to get ganked and killed, or, well, get at least ganked here. I don't know if I'm going to die. So yeah, I do get ganked, and here I make a big mistake. I get hit by the EQ, and then I flash, and then I exhaust. This was a big mistake because I almost killed the Jax here because of the minions, but unfortunately I miss a few Qs, and he gets away. But the big mistake there was that he hit me with the EQ. If I was going to flash and not accept me dying, then I should have flashed the EQ and not got stunned. But instead I timed my flash very poorly, and Jax manages to get his leap strike onto me as well, and then I exhaust as well, even though I'm going to die. There's no point in wasting the exhaust. But yeah, I waste 2 summoners there. Fortunately my jungler punishes mid lane while the jungler comes to top lane to kill me, and I'm not actually as far behind as I could be in lane now, so because wave's eventually going to push back out towards me. At the moment I think the wave is going to put, yeah, the wave's going to push towards me, so I want to just get a ward down so I don't get ganked again, and then just let it push up. So yeah, don't waste summoners when you're going to get ganked and die. If you think you're going to die, just let it happen. The mistake I made originally was the fact that I didn't see the jungler on the map. I wasn't watching the map enough, and I should have predicted anyway, even if I didn't know where the jungler was, that he was going to come top, but I didn't, and that is my fault, and none of that would have happened, and I wouldn't have had to waste my summoners, because I'd have probably pushed out and backed away. But yeah, so more map awareness needed there, and just big mistake to waste the summoners when I know I'm going to die. But yeah, if you know you're going to die, don't waste your summoners, and just let them kill you. You're better off dying and keeping your summoners than you are dying and losing your summoners, because next time they just come back and they kill you again. Fortunately I haven't been instantly punished for wasting my flash and exhaust as the wave's pushing towards my tower again. However, Jarvan could easily come to my tower and dive me here, because I have no flash and I'm a squishy Karthus, but fortunately my jungle is putting so much pressure in mid and on the map that they're not getting a chance. So Jax has gone missing, and I see him go missing through the ward, so I'm pinging red buff because I think that, or a danger ping mid as well, because I think Jax is either roaming or trying to steal red. So at least spots the red, and he's not a red. I'm trying to scout for this Jax. He was looking to gank mid. But yeah, so if your laner goes missing, try and react if you can. Like, because I had a ward in the tri-brush, I knew he wasn't waiting in there to kill me, so I could at least go and help at least secure a red. If I didn't have a ward in my tri-bush, I would have been less, I would have wanted to go less, because, I mean, if he was in a tri-bush and I face check it, I'm dead. Or I'm going to take so much damage that I can't lane against him and have to recall, and then he gets to pressure my tower and probably kill it because he's Jax. So sometimes it's not worth it to follow your lane opponent if they go missing, because you could die for it or lose a severe advantage. So Elise is coming in to gank this Jax again because Jax hasn't warded. He wastes his leap strike and counter strike. They're both down. Elise still has a repel. Repel still a range minions and has a nice cocoon. However, I'm missing 3 or 4 Qs here, which I shouldn't be missing. Fortunately, face roll Karthus, you just hold your E, you just press your E, and eventually they're going to die anyway. So that was a good gank from Elise. And I'm just going to push the wave up to the tower. Get a nice amount of free CS here and free EXP. Little bit of pressure onto the tower, not too much, so I don't really want to get this tower down too quickly. I mean, if Elise had stayed, we could have probably got the tower, but it would have probably been really bad for me if we did, because like Jax, I'm a champion who wants to... Oh, I use my ult here because Lulu's I play Lulu a lot, and Lulu's a champion that can get away really easily, so just to make sure, I decided to ult, and I'm a sad panda now because she had blue buff and Elise took the kill. QQ. But yeah. Basically, when you are a farming champion like Jax or Karthus, you want to try and keep your opponent's tower up for as long as possible. because otherwise they can freeze it in dangerous territory, and you would have to go into really deep territory to farm minions, and that's really bad because you'd keep getting camped and killed by the enemy jungler. So if you want to farm, if you're a champion that wants to get a lot of farm and you're not too bothered about getting killed because you scale super well into the late game, you don't need to roam because you just want to scale into the late game. Don't kill your opponent's tower. I mean, you can damage it a lot. You can leave it on like low HP, but there's no need to kill it until you really need to. Until you're strong enough to roam and help your team actually accomplish something. If you're a champion like Renekton, however, you want to take the tower as soon as possible, because then you can go down to Dragon and pressure it with your teammates, while the other top lane is stuck at top lane, defending the minion waves that keep pushing against them. But as I'm Karthus, I just want to be farming, getting my scaling items, and just scaling into the late game. Just like Jax, really. However, Jax is extremely good at killing towers, and if you get the chance to go at a tower as Jax, it's just so satisfying that you just do it, even though it might not be the best for you. However, Karthus is extremely slow at pushing, so I won't be able to get the tower for a while. I'd need Elise's help, because Elise has an attack speed steroid. So currently Jax keeps going missing from the lane, so I'm just being careful. He jumps on me, uses Leap Strike and Counter Strike. I throw my wall down so he can't continue to chase me. This is the point in the lane where Jax is quite a frustrating champion to deal with as Karthus, because he has a lot of damage past 6. Fortunately for me, I've almost got enough for my Blasting Wand, which means that I'm going to do a lot of damage back to him, which means that he's actually gankable. This point in the lane phase is unfortunately quite bad for me because I can't really go near the minions too easily. But it's okay because I'm playing Karthus, so I have a really long range Q. But I don't really want to contest damage on him because he will definitely out-damage me at this stage in the game. I mean, with the few items that he's got and the abilities that he has, he does more than me until later on in the game. I mean, later on in the game, I'll do way more damage than him. And, like, he can't kill me because I have Flash and Exhaust up now, and my wall allows me to disengage from him, so. But I don't really want to be trading damage. So he uses Counter Strike here, jumps on me, doesn't get the stun because it went too late. So I'm going to put a bit of damage back on him now. Because all of his cooldowns are down, there's no point in not. He's trying way too hard to juke here, and I read it like a book because he was doing it earlier. So I exhaust him, he ignites me, jumps on me. He actually has to flash away here because he's unsure of whether he can deal with me. So now I leave because I'm out of mana, and he doesn't really want to chase into me because it's quite misleading how much mana lay waste costs, and he doesn't actually know how much I have left. But now he's using his flash charges, he's going to sustain up, and I'm going to actually back off here because I don't want to die. But yeah, so as soon as Jax uses his cooldowns, even though he's a stronger champion than me right now, he has nothing to use to kill me. So I can go as ham as I want, throwing Qs at him, walking up to him like it's nothing, and just doing damage to him. And then as soon as his cooldowns come back up, he tried to all-in me, and I just used my exhaust, and kept cool. And he actually had to flash away, because the exhaust was making it so he couldn't kill me, and I'd kill him eventually. Unfortunately for me, I didn't have my, because I had my ult up, I just didn't have enough mana to finish the kill, so I backed off. But yeah. Here I'm telling people to check our red, because I think Jax might have gone off to do it, but I'm not sure. As I said, he keeps going missing from lane. I don't have ward placed yet. I've gone back to buy one now, but... So yeah, I'm going to go ward now so I don't get ganked. Jax is still currently stronger than me, but once I finish my Rod of Ages and it starts stacking up, I'm pretty safe. I mean, it's only 14 minutes in and I've almost got enough for it, so that's a... And also I had to buy tier beforehand. I didn't have to, but it's definitely best to buy tier before Rod of Ages as Karthus. I mean, I don't think the build for Karthus differs wherever you play him. I mean, if you play him jungle, then like you can play Karthus jungle, it's just not super effective. It's not as effective as some of the other junglers in the game right now. But yeah. You can play him jungle, but you'd probably build like a Spirit Stone or maybe the Spectral Wraith item. But in mid and top, his build stays the same. You build Tear of the Goddess into God of Ages, and then you get you upgrade into Archangel's Staff, and then you go. Well, I go Zhonya's after that because I feel like he does a lot of damage as it is. You don't need the Rabadons until I build Rabadons as 6th item because I like to build the Zhonyas to survive longer. I feel like I'm going to do more damage in those 2 seconds with my Defile on their whole team than Rabadons is going to give me from the AP. But yeah. So I'm trying to pressure Jax here because he probably still thinks Elise is around and doesn't really want to go too aggressive. But yeah, so my build after Archangels would be Zhonya's, and then after that I would want to get some Magic Pen from Void Staff. So I'd complete the Void Staff, and then I would go for Rabadons, because you're eventually going to build Rabadons on a mage, because it gives so much ability power. So here, Elise comes top, we're going to pressure the tower down. Xpeke takes the mid tower, we're going to take the top tower. So like I said, the only way I can get this tower against the Jax is if Elise comes top and helps me out. She does, and we do get the tower. So this is a Diamond 1, so most people know what they're doing. Most. I say most people know what they're doing. It's not really true. So Jax is trying to go aggressive. I throw the wall down just in case. I flash for the exhaust. Elise flashes for the cocoon. Diamond 1 plays. We miss everything, but we end up getting the kill anyway, so it doesn't matter too much. So I get level 11 off that, so I just hit my power spike because I'm about to get my Rod of Ages, and I'm level 11, so my ult is going to do incredible amounts of damage. Yeah, so that's pretty good. However, I think they might get the dragon out of this because Jarvan gank spot while we're taking top tower and killing Jax. But that's not too bad because we definitely have the late game advantage in this game. As you can see, we have Karthus and Zed. Zed late game is just insane. He's way stronger than Lulu because he can just instantly kill somebody. Karthus, I like to say Karthus infinitely scales until about, he scales until about 50 minutes. Champions that infinitely scale would be champions like Thresh, Nasus and Vigar. Karthus probably has the latest game scaling that isn't infinite. Because once he gets his 6th item build and elixirs, he's so insanely strong. They're also Caitlyn late game isn't too bad. I'm not quite sure what the AD is this game. But Jax doesn't scale as well as Karthus in my opinion. He does scale extremely well, but I just don't feel like he scales as well as Karthus does. So Lulu's going aggressive here, but I managed to get the wall and just stop her in her tracks. Morgana's late game scaling as a support is actually really strong, but so is Thresh's, so they're quite even. However, I do think we have the late game advantage because Lulu doesn't outscale Zed and Jax doesn't outscale Karthus. So we don't have to worry too much about losing losing dragons like that, especially 18 minutes in the game. They don't actually give us much gold as they used to, so it's not too much of a detriment. Okay, so the AD carry is Lucian. He's finally appeared on the map. Lucian, I do feel like outscales Caitlyn in the late game. I could be wrong though, I'm not the best AD carry player and I don't really know too much about AD carries. But I do feel like Lucian would do more damage late game than Caitlyn would with a 6 item build. That could be completely wrong, obviously. So, at this stage in the game, my goal is to just push up top lane every time I don't see Jax, just to keep him in lane, because I don't want him roaming to help his team out. I mean, it wouldn't be too much of a detriment if he did, because I could ult and probably do as much damage as he would, unless he was left unattended the whole fight. Because I'd hit 5 people with my ult. Automatically, he might only be hitting a single target. But I want to be careful not to get caught by him, so I'm being careful where I'm walking. So at least gets a nice catch onto the Lulu there and they kill her. Xpeke is pressuring bot lane on his own. I'm going to regroup and help my team mid. Jax jumps on me, uses his ignite. But he's caught now, so he has to flash away. And we get to free pressure mid lane, which is really good for us. So we 4-man pressure mid. Here we would look to want to team fight because Jax just had to burn his flash and run away, and at the moment I feel like we're stronger. But they just give up the tower, so it doesn't really matter. So I see a good opportunity to rotate bot here. It looks like my team also sees a good opportunity. Elise almost kills Lucian, so it looks like we'll get another free tower. Lucian gets a shield from Lulu, which keeps him alive. But now they're all incredibly low, especially after my ultimate, so we should be able to get a free tower here. Jarvan goes back in. Goes deep for me, but I'm Karthus, so I don't really care if I die. So we get a kill on their jungler. Xpeke is going hella deep, like, holy shit, this guy's crazy. But he does pick up 2 kills. Actually, sorry, 3 kills. Oh no, he must have got the kill on the Jarvan as well, for the triple kill. But we end up getting a free tower out of that, so it's really worth it. We lose 2 players for their 3. And, yeah. So that's really good for us. We pick up mid tower, we picked up bot tower, and we picked up more kills than the enemy team did. So even though we lost, like, early dragons, we're currently just probably winning really nicely on gold. Probably like 5k maybe ahead at this point. I don't know because it's not in spectator mode. I recorded this game first person while I was playing it and didn't want to record my voice as well at the time because I think my house was busy. So yeah, at the moment I just want to farm, keep getting my items. Finished row, I got my SoloQ shoes now. So, I'm doing a lot of damage right now, but this is not the cap of my damage at any point. Like, another 30 minutes and I'll have hit my cap. But I'm just going to keep getting stronger and stronger. So, I'm aiming to get my Archangels next, I'm not too far off it. Karthus is probably one of my favourite champions to play, because he's just, the scaling and the way you play him, it's just amazing. So our jungler ends up soloing their top laner there, which isn't a good sign for them. But Jarvan ends up getting a trade onto them. I'm heading up to help out our Morgana deal with their jungler. So Jarvan is currently caught and is going to fall eventually. Wonder if he picks up the Nope, the nice flash from Morgana stops his Q from killing him, and I eventually kill him and do the emote spam because you have to be bad-mannered. But yeah, so I was saying about Karthus. He's one of the more favourite champions for me to play because the main reason for it is because he has a really unique playstyle compared to other champions. How many mid laners do you know, maybe other than Diana, that just flash into the enemy team, go completely balls deep? I mean, Zed probably does this as well, but you want to die? Like, you want to flash into the enemy team and just die? What sort of mid laner does that? There is no other mid laner I know in the game that wants to just jump into 5 people and kill themselves. And Karthus is just so interesting and fun to play because that is what you want to do. You want to flash into the enemy team, deal as much damage as you can, exhaust one of their damage threats like their AD carry, and you want to just Zhonya's in the middle of them, survive as long as possible using items, and then just die and continue to deal damage and use your ultimate. You just do so much damage, and the playstyle is so unique and fun. You can play so aggressively in team fights, and there's not a lot of mid laners that can do that in these in the current meta. Like, you want to play Lulu, you want to play LeBlanc and Ziggs, champions like that, which have to usually want to stay at the back, be an assassin, be hidden, and then come out and deal your damage. And Ziggs just sits at the back line, throwing in harass all the time, and just doing a lot of poke damage. But Karthus is a full-on engaging beast. He just flies into a fight, flashes in, just kills, does as much damage as possible, kills himself. It's a great playstyle, and it's really fun to learn this champion and play him. He also has a really strong lane phase. A lot of people say you shouldn't pick Karthus because champions like Zed, Gragas and LeBlanc counter him because of the amount of burst potential they have, but you build Karthus tanky. So you build Rod of Ages first, and then you build Archangels, and then you build Zhonya's. That's like the most defensive build you can probably get in the game. So obviously it doesn't have magic resist, so you are still weak to LeBlanc, but he outscales the 3 champions that I mentioned to the point where eventually it's worth picking him because he just does so much more damage than them in team fights. Like LeBlanc, for example, she can instantly burst you down, in a team fight, so you die. Unless you Zhonya's quickly enough. If you Zhonya's, then she's completely screwed herself because she's out of position and hasn't killed anybody, and she's got all of her cooldowns wasted. And then if she does kill you, just ultimate, and she loses like 90% of her health late game. So currently we're just pushing up bot lane this game. We're so far ahead right now that we can just push and just like take tower to free pretty much. So we should be able to get an inhib here, maybe. Probably not. We're actually quite overstaying our welcome here, but all that trap. I'm gonna die here for sure, I think. Oh my god. Oh, me no die. I don't know how I'm nodded here, but at the moment we're just retreating. I'm screaming for help. Oh my, it's just so much. So many times I should have died here. I turn around, put that quick wall down. Oh, the Lucian Q almost hits me as well. And somehow I managed to actually get out of that. Which is, and get an assist in the meantime as well, which is quite funny. So I'm going to recall here because after surviving something like that, you don't want to just go in and get killed because you'd feel really shit about that. So I buy my Archangels and it's automatically upgraded because I bought the tier so early, which is really good. And I hit a huge power spike now because the amount of mana that I have is almost 3,000. And Archangels gives me 6, is it 6? I think it's 6% of that as AP, which equates to about 10% is about 27. Oh wait, that's dumb. I don't know, maths, too strong, too hard, no. It gives me about 60 AP, I think, I'm not sure. Can't remember, to be honest. I can't hover over it because I'm watching this back on recorded software, so... Oh well, it just gives me a lot. The more mana you have, the more AP it gives you. So yeah, I hit a huge power spike by buying Word of Ages and then Archangels. My next spike would probably be buying Void Staff and then Rabadons at 6 as well. Like every single item you buy on this champion just seems like a huge power spike. He's crazily strong and I don't see why he doesn't get played more. I think he's really good. He does have hard lanes. That once you learn to play him, once you learn to play those lanes and survive, you just do so much damage in team fights that it's worth having the bad laning phase. So right now we're trying to set up for a kill on this Jarvan because he is going for our pink ward. He has to flash out, and we're going to turn and do this Baron because Xpeke is bot lane. So the worst thing that happens here is we die and Xpeke gets an inhibitor. So I exhaust the Lulu. I'm just trying to get into the middle of their team. I die, I'm going to use my ult straight away because you don't want to miss your ultimate by like 0.5 seconds. I get a huge amount of damage on them. Put my wall so Jarvan can't escape. Caitlyn cleans up Lulu. We kill Jarvan as well. Jarvan manages to kill our Elise, unfortunately. But Xpeke is currently just destroying their bot lane. He just 1v2'd their bot lane on his own instead. Like 28 minutes into the game, level 16 Zed, you can just kill everyone. And we get Baron and they're inhib, so that's really good for us. So I'm just having a bit of banter with Peke. I'm like, you're like one of the best mid laners in the EU. Why you not kill both their players? And mate, okay, we didn't get Baron. I didn't remember this, but apparently our support and AD carry couldn't do it and almost die. Well, Morgana does die, but oh well. The fight went heavily in our favour and we got their inhib, so if we wanted to go do Baron now, we could do. We're just going to have Zed split push bot the whole game because that's where he's best suited, and our team fight 4v4 or even 4v5 is probably just as strong as theirs. So Jax goes really deep under the tower here for some reason. Gets the lantern out, fortunately. Thresh, show P chump. Rito, nerf lantern, please. No, yeah, the lantern's really strong, and it's one of the most frustrating skills in the game. So everyone goes missing from mid, so we're telling Peke to back off, but he's got other ideas, I think. Yeah, she'll probably see in a minute. He kills the Jax, and then I think he gets cleaned up. No, he's... oh my god. They're just chasing him around the map right now. He's life-stealing off the minions, so just Q gets killed by the Lulu. And our Elise is going a bit ham. Trying to avenge his death, I guess. I'm on my way down to try and catch somebody here, so is Morgana. Morgana gets hooked, unfortunately, so she can't bind anyone. Flash Cocoon comes out again and misses. And he blames it on lag, so that's good. I get a really nice wall off here and a nice 2 Qs on Lulu, chunking her for about 50% of her health. Unfortunately, Jarvan manages to do a huge amount of damage back to me. He wastes Cataclysm on me though, and me and Kaling are just going to push down this tower now while they try and clean up Elise. And I think I will Garnis down there as well, yeah. We get a tower for free there. I get a really nice wall just before Jax flashes, which means that I get away from the Jax here. Actually, I'm not sure. He might be able to leap strike to minions and kill me. Nope. I think he's going to give up. Yeah. So that wall was really well timed before he flashed. Getting the 80%. No, it's actually not 80% right now. It's probably 40%, and then it goes up to 60, then 80. Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, so 40% slow, it's almost half. It's pretty strong. So the Jax is really looking to kill people here. It's really mad that he didn't get to kill anyone in lane phase. He's probably starting to get to his power spike as well. I'm not sure what items he has. I haven't clicked him recently. Why me not click him? Ah. Okay, so they get a mid tower here. That's like the first tower they've got the whole game, I think. So that's... I mean, at least they got a tower. At least they're getting some gold now. But at this point, they're really far behind. I've almost completed my Zhonya's Hourglass. So I've got 400... About 400 AP now. I think that scales into my ult quite ridiculously. You have to think of it this way. I think the ult has a 0.6 scaling. But when you times that by 5... Okay, so Peke's going to 1v1 the Jax here. Wow, that damage, even through the shield. He goes back in for the Lulu. Lulu ults herself. I think I'm going to ult here. Yeah, just to make sure that Lulu dies. But he gets her anyway. Story of my life playing Karthus. My ult's always fucking too late. Or like completely unneeded, but I go for it anyway. But yeah, so when you think about Karthus' scaling from his ulti as 0.6, you're like, okay, that's not actually that good. But his ulti hits all 5 people. Well, unless they have Banshees and Zhonyas. Like, it hits everyone for 0.6 scaling. So you times that by 5 and you've actually got a scaling ratio of 3. So my ult, having 400 AP, actually means my ult's dealing 1,200 more damage. Which is really good. Is that a 0.6 ratio? I don't know. I can't maths. I might have just made myself look like a fool again. But you understand what I'm trying to say. You get 5 times the ratio off of his ult because it hits 5 people. So Lulu chunks me for about half my health, but I get the wall and exhaust on her, so she's going to start taking a lot of damage too. Using Seraphs to tank the tower, which is pretty good for me. Thresh misses his flay, which means he's kind of worried about dying. He pulls Jax into me, but I'm just dealing so much damage to them right now that it doesn't really matter. I missed my Q, missed the final Q, so he gets away. I really need to work on my Qs as Karthus. I don't play him often, but I plan to play him a bit more because I think he's really fun to play. So I just need to practice landing those Qs, and then I'll be a really strong Karthus. Like, if you want to see a really good Karthus, you should watch like TSM Reginald when he used to play Karthus back in the day. He used to land like so many Qs, it was crazy. But that's because he played the champion a lot. If I played the champion that much, then I'd probably land that many Qs as well, which is ridiculous. His Q does so much damage because I don't know if you guys don't know that his Q does double damage when you hit a single target, which is really good. Like it doubles the ratio again if you hit a single target. Just the burst damage from it is quite crazy. So I think I finished my Zhonyas, which means the reason I build Zhonyas on Karthus this early is because 2 seconds of invulnerability means 2 seconds of defile just dealing damage to people. And people don't want to run through your defile, so it's 2 seconds of zoning their whole team away from your carries as well. This one of the reasons I think Karthus fits at top laner quite well is that what's the top laner's job when you think about it? A top laner's job is to zone the enemy team in a team fight by going onto their carries and trying to deal damage to them. You don't have to be tanky to do that. You just have to be a threat and not get killed. So Zhonya's does that. You build Karthus quite tanky anyway, so you survive. You've got the shield from Seraphs, which is like another 400 health, depending on how much money you've got left. So technically I have about almost 3k HP, which isn't as much, admittedly, as a tank would have at this point, but the 2 seconds invulnerability as this wolf trolls me twice. Oh my god, I suck. But yeah, so the Zhonya's allows me to zone their team. So here, what I'm going to do in this team fight is I wall everybody. I just walk as far to their carries as I can. I get the Zhonya's off like last second, and I get the Seraphs offside. Survive as long as possible, and then I use my ult right at the end of the fight. Pick up 1 kill. Everyone's left on really low HP. But as you can see, I survived so long in that fight, even though they all focused me, and so all their damage went onto me, which meant my carries weren't getting targeted. And unfortunately, Xpeke wasn't in this team fight, so we don't end up winning this fight. But I did so much damage to them that it didn't really matter that I got focused. Even if I'd have died there even quicker, I would have dealt with so much damage with my ult that it wouldn't matter. So this game's still pretty much hugely in our favour, but as happens often at high elo, you tend to just have fun more than anything when you're ahead. Sometimes it results in throwing the game. More often than not, you're going to still win. But we could have won the game easily by now. So Xpeke like destroys Lucy and destroys the Thresh, and just R's out and gets away safely. Which is why Zed is just crazily strong right now. Even like after the nerf, well, people thought that the Zed change was a nerf. It wasn't really a nerf, like, because they changed his R shadow, so you can just go super ham. Like, just fly into 5 people, kill 1 or 2 people, and then just press R, and you're back to safety, back where you started. Which is crazy, when you think about it. It means you can't be as aggressive at level 6 in lane, because what it used to mean is that your shadow would be appearing right next to them, and that would be really strong for dealing extra damage to the player. But now, in team fights, you can play him like a pure assassin, just get in and out like a pure ninja. It's great fun. So me and Elise are going to duo Baron here. Karthus' damage on Baron is really insane, because your layway steals double damage to single targets, including minions and monsters, so Baron's going to take double damage from my layways. And we managed to get Baron while everyone pressures the base. I think Xpeke goes super deep again and gets himself killed, but we get a tower and Baron for it, so it's fine. As you can see, he's obviously having a lot of fun being very ahead on Zed. Jax thanks to Caitlyn out there. I get a nice wall onto the Lulu again. As you can see, my Q single target does 25% of her health, so 4 Qs and she'd be dead. I put my Zhonya's down. She dies to my Defile. Just going to try and deal damage to Jax here. He gets away really low, but I'm like, nah mate, I'm Karthus. Boom, he dies. And then we're just going to continue to push. Get a nice wall onto the Lucian. Again, I'd say about 20% of Lucian's health goes there. I get myself flayed into the fountain. This is all planned so I could zone the enemy team from stopping us killing the Nexus. No, I'm joking. I just went too ham. Just having fun. Because the game's going to come up to a close soon. Unfortunately, we go too ham again, and I think they end up cleaning us up here. Or we don't end up finishing the game until the next push. But we get at least we get to do the classic joke of, oh, Xpeke is the only one alive and the Nexus has no towers. Oh, backdoor. Xpeke. So that's fine. But yeah, Karthus late game. This is at the point, so we're at 40 minutes now in the game. 40 minutes in, Karthus is going to deal a lot of damage. I think I've got a lot of gold to spend here. You'll probably see me buy Void Staff plus Maths, no, probably Void Staff plus Blasting Wand, because I don't think I'd have enough for the Needed Steel Arch Rod. That is when I decide to buy items. So, should be buying. Okay, I'll go for the Rabadons instead of the Void Staff. I'm not sure why I did that, but oh well. I think if I'd have built the Void Staff, I mean, it did just plunge me into the 730 AP, so that's kind of crazy. So Xpeke gets outplayed by the Lulu. Completely destroyed by Zhonya's Hourglass. Poor Zed. There's nothing that you can do at Zed late game when they've got QSS and Zhonya's. You just... I mean, against QSS you can still 100-0 them, but Zhonya's just stops you from killing a target at all. Zhonya's is such a strong item. Yeah, I feel like I'd be doing more damage if I built a Void here, because Lucian, I think, has some MR. And I think everyone's starting to build MR now. At this point in the game, you would look to get some magic pen. But I think because we're so far ahead and we're going to end the game on the next push, or hopefully end the game on the next push, I just went for the pure damage. I think at this point, taking the build seriously is not needed because we're going to win anyway. Unless we just like bronze throw, I guess. It can happen. It can happen. But yeah, at this point we're just like, wait for idiot Peke. Wait for throw the game Peke. He likes to die a lot. As you can see, because they know that Peke's not here, they decide to go really deep. Lulu gets chunked. They try to engage on us. I just sit in the middle of people. I use my Zhonya's, use my Seraphs. I die, I use my ult. Lulu's going to fall anyway. People are going to take a lot of damage from this. Fortunately, the team there decided to wait in a silly position, so they could just engage on us. Because they knew Xpeke was dead, so they just engaged on us again. We just need to group at this point and finish the game, but everyone seems to be having too much fun. Unfortunately for them, they're going to lose another inhib here. Even if we didn't, even if they didn't lose the inhib, we could just group and kill them. Because, like I said, our late game's better than their late game is. So crazy that damage. He just like destroyed their tank in a matter of seconds. That build is really strong. If you want to pause the game when I tab, kills himself there again. He saw the hook to dodge and he just went, yeah, I'm gonna dodge this and then I'm gonna die. But yeah, so their Nexus is open, they've got 2 inhibs dead. There's really no coming back for them here because our late game's stronger. Like, Peke can probably kill at least 2 people on his own, I can kill probably 2 people on my own as well. There's not really much they can do to win this game at this point. But it's just going on for too long, which means that I have to commentate through the whole thing. Which is unfortunate for you guys, because you probably don't want to listen to me rambling on about crap. This game could have ended about 20 minutes ago, I reckon. Nah, probably not as much as 20, but at least 10 minutes ago. But at least you get to see how I build in the late game, how I play team fights in the late game, and just how much damage Karthus does in the late game, I guess. Which is cool. But yeah, going back to the point of this video before the video ends, role filling in SoloQ. If you know how to play a role and somebody else doesn't, and you can try and you should just try and fill as many roles for comfortable picks as possible. So if you have people who can play mid already and you can play top, you should play top, because then you've got 2 comfortable players on your team. Admittedly, lower down in diamond, like down near diamond 5 or lower, you can't always trust people when they say, oh, I'm really good at mid lane. But in this game, I'm playing with Xpeke, so I was like, well, I can definitely trust he's a good mid laner, so I guess I'll rolefill and make our chances of winning this game even higher. One way to check if you don't know is you can go to sites like LolKing or LolNexus people. Well, actually LolNexus wouldn't work, but LolKing would help you figure out whether that player is actually good in the role, and then you can judge for yourself if you're a higher pick. If you're a lower pick, you should just... my opinion on lower pick is that you should just take what you're given. So it's unfortunate that you don't get to play what you want to play every game, but if you want to win SoloQ, you should just make do with what you get if you're a lower pick. Just keep everyone happy and do your best. No one's going to blame you, and if they do blame you, then you can just say, look, I said that I wasn't very good at this role, but I played it because you are good at your role. Like, I feel like it's the job of the people who get their roles to carry the game. I mean, that obviously doesn't mean that you can feed if you don't get your role, because everybody at their elo should be able to play their role without feeding kills. So yeah, so we're going to finish the game here. We just take Baron. Here's my Zhonya's to survive Lucian's damage though. I'm just going to stand here and I think I'm going to ult at some point. Well, maybe not. I'm really low, so I'm hoping my team will finish this. So my team goes in, so I'm going to ult to support them. It supports them killing the Lucian and Thresh, which is good enough, I think. As long as we don't dive the fountain. I'm like, okay, I want this game to be over, I'm just going to hit the Nexus. even if no one else helps me. This game has gone on for long enough. So yeah, we finished the game finally, and that's me playing with Xpeke, Diamond 1, playing Karthus top. I hope you guys enjoyed watching.